Hey guys, what I wanted to do today was to give you a little more of a comprehensive guide on how to decorate, how to place objects, clip objects, and when to use constrained movement, when to use grid snapping, all the things that, come with decorator. So there's a few fundamentals that you have to learn when you're decorating. I will give you an example with the Zariman hallway divider. So the first fundamental is grid snapping. You can use grid snapping to line things up and to also be specific with where they are placed. So if you want something central, you can have it central. The next fundamental is free placing. So grid snapping off, you can place it wherever you want. So if I want it back here, there we go, I want it there. Then that would take me into constrained movement. Constrained movement, when you press R on your keyboard for PC, keyboard and mouse, PC players, you go into a mode called constrained movement mode. There is the Y-axis, the X-axis, and then there's a Z-axis. With this, what you can do is press buttons on your keyboard, and you can move them along that singular axis. You can move this up and down, and then move this in and out. Okay? So, the way you sync things into the wall is by turning your transform mode into local. So if you press Z or Z on the keyboard, in the bottom right you see you can toggle world and local. It changes the way the object moves depending on its orientation. So if you want this object to go further into the wall, I will have to press F and move it as far as possible. But that's the furthest it goes, because there is an invisible hitbox right here. If you look at this, where the arrows meet, that is where the hitbox is. And your goal is to get that hitbox clipping through that wall. So the way you do that is you go into local transform, rotate slightly. It's in a red zone, so I will change the angle snapping to 5 degrees. If I do it that way, it doesn't work. There's still a red zone, but if I do it this way, there is no red zone. So now you see it's slightly going into the wall, but that's not how we want it. I want it flush, at least. I want it flush and in the wall. So if I tilt it like this, we can always rotate it later, don't worry. What we do, you have to do a little dance, slight little dance. Now you can press R to move the X-axis. It's a bit skewed because this should be the Y-axis, but oh well. It's in local transform, so it's relative to the orientation of your object. So if you move it down a little bit, I always like keeping it away from the red zone. That hitbox is slightly in that wall now. So now if I press F to move it into the wall, you see it slowly goes in, but it only goes in as far as I can get it there. Because there's actually another wall behind this. This is not actually the main wall. There's this wall, this from the other Zariman hallway divider, and then there's also the wall of the actual orbiter. So for me, I need to get through 3 different walls to get this sunken into the wall. I don't know how many times I said wall just there, but bear with me. If I move it, I can't move it any further in. So now I can move it up a bit more, then I can move it back. See, it goes in slightly. If I move it down and then move it back, it goes in even further. See, I can get it further in. I can even lose it in the wall if I wanted to, but I don't want to do that. See, now I have a problem coming out because I have gone so far that it's gone through the hitbox of the other walls. So now I have to move it up and then forward and then down or up and then forward, and I can move it back out of the wall. Then if you want it flush with the wall, you just angle it back, and then you can, because it's already in the wall, you can make it flush. But that's how you get things into the wall. It is a bit confusing, I understand. You have to figure it out yourself. Each item is its own problem to get this into the wall, right? So if I have it on local, and if I want it to go in, I can't. So if I move it this way, and then in, and then this way, there we go, I can. So each object is its own story. You just have to learn how to deal with the hitboxes and the other hitboxes. It's just hitboxes colliding with the other hitboxes. It's very confusing, but it is doable.